Hey basses, welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed our virtual rehearsing that we've been doing. This is your part on And Can It Be? So I want you to pull out that piece if you would, and we're just going to take it from the beginning. After you've warmed up, of course, with your warm-up video. And so right from the beginning, there's a lot to think about even with the first note that we sing. Notice that it's indicated as being pianissimo, very soft, distant and thoughtful, and what I want there is a light kind of almost chanty sound that kind of sounds like it's coming from the mist. What's the pitch level? Amazing love, how can it? So let's just try right from there. Amazing love, how can it be? And you can see where I am. Your measure 7, 3 and 4 and amazing love, how can it? Let's do that one more time. I want you to ask yourself, did you crescendo ever so slightly on love as indicated? Did you make that B, and can it be as beautiful and round as possible so it wasn't spread B, B. Lips should be in an oval or oblong shape, B, so that comes out beautiful. Let's try that phrase once again. Give you a chance to practice that intense but soft sound. It's something that takes a while to master. 3 and 4 and amazing love, how can it be? Nice. And then, so that's the most important thing, and it is vitally important that we have for this sort of introductory section. Next time that we come in, it's pickups to measure 17. What I think I'll do is I'll sing the baritone part mostly. Linda is going to play the bass part on the piano. So at any point, if I don't come back and do the bass part, just come back and sing and listen to what the piano is doing. But for now, I'm going to sing the baritone part, partially because that's best in my range. But let's do now pickups into measure 17. And 2 and 3. Amazing love. Section, and I will tell you from listening to recordings that one note that can trick up the basses if you're not paying attention is that note on my God, because it's leading into the low note. Make sure we get all the way down to that D natural. So can we take it pickups to measure 21? Do that for me and hold that note. 3. Again. Now the phrase 2 and 3. That's it. Let's do that whole phrase again, starting from pickups to 17. Yes, and 2 and 3. Oh, am I singing the wrong note? Yeah. So sorry. It's been a long morning. Sorry for that. But let's try it again. Pick up to 17. 2 and 3. Starts to take there. And as I did for the tenors, just wanted to point out that your part that you have is very leapy. We've got some different intervals and different rhythms. So we just want to make sure we're very comfortable with not only the notes themselves, but also the rhythms that they occur. So let's just do the part, Linda, from the con molto at bottom of page 4. Thrown above. It's a dotted 8/16 note, so that's going to be shorter than the eighth notes that happen later. But let's just try measure 28. 3 and 4 and we let our Father's throne above, so free, so infinite His grace. Did you get that rhythm? Yeah, let's try that again. Infinite His grace. 2 and 3. Infinite His grace. One more time since I was taking the wrong note. Infinite His grace. Keep going. And He Himself above the dawn, and live forever helpless faith. Again, helpless faith. Yeah, it's very leapy. That's why I want to go over it one more time. Let's try it again with more accompaniment now from the con molto at 28. 3 and 4 and He left His Father's throne above. Shape long notes. So free, so infinite His grace. And He Himself above the dawn, and let forever helpless grace, the mercy of heavens and free. For oh my God, it found out me. Okay, one more run at that section, just making sure that we're really aware of the phrasing, getting into pickups of measure 36. So as I'm sure I've said before, anytime we have a long note always propels forward. It always goes somewhere. We can't just sit on a note. If a note stays flat, it will die. So it either has to be leading somewhere or pulling away from somewhere. And you've got ample opportunity on these long notes at the bottom of page 5. So each one of those has a light crescendo, spin the note, si, ho. And I also want to point out that every time we go down, that note always goes back to the same E flat every time that we go. It's kind of our anchor note. So the bottom note stays the same. It's the top note that will change. So thinking about that, making sure we're phrasing, that our vowels are nice and round and open, and that we're crescendoing every long note that we have to give the phrase intensity. All that will bring this piece to life. So here we go. Pick up some measure 36. Tis no R on mercy. M-U-H. What'd you say, Linda? M. Tis mercy. Oh, let's try it. And 2 and breathe. Tis mercy. All it's crescendo. Two measures of crescendo. Amazing love, how can it be? Okay, just a quick note at top of page 7. We can't be all of a sudden louder at measure 47 where it says forte. We have to get there by climbing the mountain and doing that crescendo the 2 measures before, top of page 7. And when you're doing a phrase that crescendos, you get the most money out of the long held notes. So on the word B is where we're going to feel and hear the most crescendo building into that measure forte. Well, let's try measure top of page 7, starting at a mezzo forte and then crescendoing and building into that forte. So we build there, we don't get there all of a sudden. Okay, 3 and 4 and.
Amazing love, how can it be? No condemnation now I dread. Jesus and all in Him is mine. Abide in Him, my living and clothed in righteousness divine.
Okay, one more time on that. One of the things I really want to make sure that you're doing, basses, is that when we get into the upper part of our register, to make sure we still have that rich, velvety, baritone sound. We don't want these high notes to stick out. We don't want them to sound spread. Jesus and all. Lots of resonant space back in your mouth and in your chest so that this blends perfectly. You're actually singing at the beginning of this phrase the melody along with the sopranos, and then you kind of branch off to something different. Want to make sure we've got that blend, nothing heavy, nothing too loud or screamy. We always want support here, space here, and making it as beautiful as we can. So let's just take it right on measure 47. No con, no con, no con. If I was singing too heavy, I would tense here. No con, if I'm singing correctly, no con, everything shifts here. No condemnation now I dread. Let's try that. And will you put your hands here? If you have the opportunity to put your music on your dining room table or something, if you can, put your hands here and make sure that you can feel the tension here, because there should only be tension here, nothing up here. Let's try it. 3 and 4 and.
No condemnation now I dread. Jesus and all in Him is mine.
Thou and.
Abide in Him, my living head, and clothed in righteousness divine.
Section of the piece. Just want to make sure we're singing it absolutely as beautiful as we can. Nothing too heavy, nothing too loud. We've got to have the space and open. And basses, you are the foundation of what we do. We need your lower partials, your subwoofer to give this piece the breadth that it needs. Be most careful, as we said, as I said earlier, when you're up in the high register on those high Ds, those are really tenor notes, those high Ds, but you've got them. In fact, the tenors are singing them with you, so make sure you bring your baritone range up there nice and covered there. There was a couple of instances in this section where we had that same note that I pointed out before, like for example in measure 68. Thou, is that it, Linda? Measure 68. Thou, my. Maybe you got the second of the scale, my God, leading into this. So be careful when you hear that interval that we already worked at before. Let's take it from. I think I want to take it from. Let's just run from 55. I want you to circle that note on 55 on bold, and the reason is that comes in on beat 3, 1 and 2. Bold. It'll feel like it's coming in a beat early, but kind of for effect's sake, it's coming on beat 3. So right on beat 3, bold, and 1 and 2. Bold, I not too heavy, all the way through. Do not let up on that note because that's the most important thing that we sing. Thou, my, excuse my sore throat, my God, and not cut off until the end. Can we try? Pick up some measure 68. Thou, 2, and 3. Thou, my God. Ladies. Same chanty as before. Amazing love, how can it be? All right, so a couple of things about this Latin basis. We have to spend just a minute on this. I don't know how much time has gone by, but we do need to spend just a minute on this. So the last 8 measures or so, when you have the amazing love, this is the exact same pianissimo, distant, from a distance, from the mist kind of thing. Amazing. This is a different key. Amazing. So that same feeling that we started the piece with is how we ended it. So let's try that first. Amazing love. 3 and 4 and amazing love, how can it be? Now the last chord Linda has is this chord on beat 3 of that measure. And your note, So 2 ways that you can think about this. Can it be? Can it be? Let's try it just by the interval. And can it be? Amazing. Let's try with Linda playing the accompaniment now to see if we can still hear that C through that. It should be easier because she's got a C in what she's playing. So I'll sing, how can it be? 2 and 3. How can it be? Now see, I think I have got my ear trained to hear that C. I wonder if you do too. Let's do it just a couple more times just to make sure you really hear that C. So just to, again, can it be? It's a huge leap, but we really need to hear that because if you notice, that chord is a cappella, so we don't get any help and we have to sing it on our own. So let's try, actually, let's go back to the amazing love, the measure we come in on that 4/4, measure 74. 3 and 4 and amazing love, how can it be? So if all the basses and baritones do get that C, we can have our baritones go up to the amazing love. Let's try the baritone part, the last 4 measures. And 1 and 2. Amazing love. Nice. One more time, guys, on this last little tag here. Making sure we've got that interval, and really go rewind this section a couple of different times because we really want you to be able to just hear that C and sing it with almost with no help. So here we go, amazing love, 3 and 4 and amazing love, how can it be? And one more time for the baritones, just on the amazing love. Assuming you found the C, here we go. And 1 and 2. Amazing love. Nice. And don't breathe where I did. I'm just breathing because I still have a bit of a cough from my allergies. But yes, that is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So if you work on those parts, those rhythms and those notes and those phrasings that we discussed, I think it'll be absolutely stunning when we're able to come back together. If you have any questions, just email me. I'll be happy to answer. Russ had a question the other day, and so we talked about that. So I look very forward to when we can meet back together again, and I'm grateful for your time. Thanks a lot.